that can access it. Don't leave your laptop like my laptop is now and then walk away. Whatever is on it, they don't need password to access it anymore. It's free space. So that's important. Your phones as well should be set to auto lock. Secure protocols for websites. Don't open any link that is not HTTPS. What's the difference? If all of them is link. My dear. We used to have a teacher in my primary school. You pull our ears and say, to be forewarned. To be forewarned. Why are we saying HTTPS? So I'll tell you what. HTTP was what is hypertext transfer protocol. It was what was used on the internet for all the years. But then they found out that hackers were able to effectively transmit data and put up websites, and there was no way to check which is real and which is not. So organizations then had to purchase. It's purchased. You have to buy it. It's not free. Although I know some accounts give you some sort of freedom, but even that you have to pay to get that account. So you purchase security. So it's hypertext transfer protocol security. So it's a secure transfer protocol, and usually on your devices you will see a padlock icon. That small padlock icon that tells you that this is a secure link. If it's not, I think now that many devices and I think Chrome does that now. If you go to a site that is not secure, that doesn't have the S, it will first take you to a link to tell you this website is not secure. Is unsafe. Do you want to proceed? So at that point, you can't blame Chrome. It's on you. You want to go on? Yes, go on. Now, of course, our local Wi-Fi's in our houses are most likely HTTP, and it's just you, so that's fine. You don't have to. There's no S here. It's HTTP. It's fine. But on a public space, avoid as much as you can an insecure browser or an insecure website. And then audit and clean. This is important. Prune staff permissions quarterly, revoke access immediately for departed staff. Some organizations do this. Now, this is important. Some organizations forget to remove staff from access that they have. They forget to remove staff from access that they have. And if you forget to do that, and the staff felt like, why will you fire me? Why will you send me away? You owe me. I'll do my own for you. Whatever happens from that point onwards is on you. So you run an audit trail to ensure that everybody, only people who need access to what have access to it. That's a very important information. Only people who need access to something have access to it. You don't say, boys, we're all in the same organization. It's not, you don't need access. Simple question. Do you all have access to your organization's financial accounts? Why? Why you not fight that we're in the same organization? You don't have access. In fact, you are grateful you don't have access to it. So that if anything happens, they don't say it was this person that had access. So you always ensure. So these are basic checklists, right? Basic things that you do. So you can check for yourself which ones your organizations don't do, which ones you don't do, and where you have lapses and what you need to do. So again, active patching. That's you ensure that operating systems are up to date, softwares are up to date, and things like that. Attachment description, no automatic downloads. Don't download links that you just see. Not every PDF file that is sent to you via email that you should open. We are going to get to phishing. I hope we have time to get to phishing. Endpoint locks. So that's your devices. When you see endpoints there, endpoints is just laptops, right? Laptops, phones. So in the tech world, whatever you use to access the internet is an endpoint. Because what the internet will return to you, this is where it ends at. Do you understand that analogy? So it's the endpoint of the link. So secure protocols only, audit and clean. So checklist. Again, we'll share the file, the document with you for you to note. And this is where Nigerian CSOs often fall short. Again, we have said this, but let's look at a few of them. Number one, offboarding failure. Former staff often retain access to primary emails, web builders, social handles months after contract termination. That should be fixed. Leave the mic alone. That should be fixed, right? Another one is share credentials. Aha, I was coming here. You have passwords saved inside files for other people, your department or organization to use. Raise your hand. You have passwords that are saved on maybe a Google Drive file or a document so that somebody else can have access to it. You see yourself now?
It's confidential. You are not supposed to have access to it.
I was sure the hacker, when the hacker has access to it, you just say, confidential. We'll talk about a better way to share passwords, because you have to find a better way to share passwords. I'm aware that there are services. I mean, for instance, instead of buying something for one member of the team, you just buy it with the email of the team. For instance, in my organization, some accounts that we created for some of the things I do, for instance, we use the Infotech email because that's the IT team, just IT team. So anybody on the IT team can have access to it. And then if we need to get OTP via email, it's not, Alpha, has you entered your email? Can you forward it to me? Everybody has access to it. But we needed to find a way to save that in a place where not everybody can have access to. This is where it gets interesting. Your Google Chrome already gives you some sort of password manager, if you are aware. Your iPhone or MacBook also has its own password manager, if you are aware. You then have to find a way to make the most of those things. We're going to look at a few more. Hopefully, we have the time to look at a few more password managers. In fact, we must have the time to. This is why we came. So we're going to look at password managers. So don't know that. Shared credentials, we must manage that. WhatsApp as file server, this one. That's come back again. Highly sensitive beneficiary tracking databases, financial reports shared inside casual chats with zero controls. You know all those conversations. Alpha, have you finished that document? No, I'm on my way home. Just send it to me quickly so I can finish it tomorrow. That should not happen. There's a reason why we're saying this. And so these are your quick wins or quick tips. Conduct access audits. So you must request for every critical tool in the organization and check who has access to it. It's important. Check who has access to it. Something happened in our organization a few years back, is it a year ago or two, or less than that. So our social media accounts were once handled by the admin team, but now they are handled by the communications team. We then found out that there were some accounts that were created in the name with the email address of one of the members of the admin team then. So we needed to contact that person.
Retrieve access.
If that person don't like your organization again, in fact, there was one. I think it was AWS. We're trying to work on something, and then because they require you to have a two-factor authentication. Somebody had to put their phone number, right? The person that put the phone number did not remember to tell us that. It's my phone number that is there. That person had left the organization for like 3 years. We were running audits on our Amazon services, and then found out that it was sending OTP, but we're not getting OTP. So we had to check the phone number, and without, so it was this person, is this person? So we had to call the person. Oh, what if the person had died? What if the person is on bad terms with the organization? What if the person left angrily? What if the boss of the organization did something wrong to the person and the person just left? And now the person has credential access to. So things to note, right? Things to note. So always run access audits. Who has access to what? There are files, for instance, and documents that you shared with some members or external partners that by now you should revoke that access. They don't need it anymore. You shared a file with somebody 4 years, 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. They don't need it anymore. Sometimes it's pictures, sometimes it's documents, Google Docs, Google Sheets, and things like that. You can go and revoke them. Now, if there were any of them that you said, Google Docs allow you to select the person who gets it, or you can share this link for anybody that has the link can have access to the document. If there are documents that you made such, if the need has ended, maybe there were people that needed to have access to that document at a particular period and you didn't want to start adding them one by one. So you just made the link publicly available and you shared it. If that period has ended, go to that document and revoke that access. Yeah?
But if the document that they could have downloaded it.
So there's something, so we can get there. Do I have the time to get there? I'm not sure. You can actually determine who has access, who can download documents. You can password the document. You can set it so that they can only view, they can't download. You can set it like that. Especially for Google Docs. Again, all of that is not in my notes. So now that you have thought of it, I think what I'll have done if I were you, I'll just write it down. How to ensure nobody can download a file that is shared with them. And if you get back from here and you Google that request, you'll find your answer. If it's ChatGPT you want to use, you're tired of using Google, you find the answer, right? So that bit is important. Revoke departed accounts. So if anybody has left the organization, this is usually for the IT person. If you are the IT person in your organization or you are the person in charge of revoking accounts, ensure that every account is revoked on the day the person is, not the day after, that exact day. Close of business, 5 p.m., that person no longer has access to that account. That should be the norm. And yes, I put it there. Stop the WhatsApp dump. Everything is on WhatsApp. Have you seen that document? It's on WhatsApp. You check your WhatsApp history, it's there. No. Use Google Drive. At least Google has forced all of us to open Gmail at some point because you bought Android. And if your organization has a Google Drive or an Outlook Drive, use them. Use the drives for documents, right? Use the drives for documents. In fact, there's something, I don't know if every organization does that. We have it in our organization where we have shared drives, and some drives are only accessible to people in a department. So you should have that, shared drives. For instance, Sani is in the programs department. I don't have a clue what they put in that drive until they give us access to a particular file to say, okay, this is, so that, in fact, it's our organization Google allows you to say only those with Paradigm Initiative accounts. So only those, so even if I want to access it as a member of staff, I cannot access it on my own personal Gmail account. I have to log into my official account with the organization to then access that document. So you must restrict access as much as possible. Also, have backup plans. If your website goes down, is there a backup? If your laptop is stolen, is there backup for the files there? Usually your backup plans would best be a Google Drive or an Outlook Drive or somewhere that you can keep your things safe. So conduct this week. Today is what? Thursday. Within now and next week Thursday, find a way to conduct access audits in your organizations. This week, this now to next week Thursday, run access audits. Let's check, what do we have here? Who has access to it? What do we have here? Who has access to it? If you have not done it in a long time, you will be shocked at the things you find. If you have never done it before, that's all I can say. Especially if your organization has grown over the years, where you began with using everybody's personal Gmail, then you were able to purchase your own domain. Then you were able to get your own organization email, but 2-3 years ago, people were using their personal emails, and they probably still have access to that account or that device or that file with their personal email. So now you say this person has left the organization, but 5 years ago, you added his personal email to that file. So things to note. Have a backup routine plan for critical files. So this is where we often fall short as Nigerian CSOs, and that is our plan and our way out around it. So that's pillar 1. That was for digital hygiene. Pillar 2, I said we're coming here. Password managers. We like to memorize our password, don't we? We have to, actually, is the right word. You have to. Because what do you mean you don't? I was told someone, let me say something. I am sure that if we run an audit here, 60 to 80% of us have had Google Chrome tell us that this password was flagged in a data breach. And you just ignore it. You just walk away. I've been using this password since 1942. It's not now that I'm old and grey that I'll be thinking of new password. We have treated our passwords like signatures. They were not meant to be like signatures. In fact, I'm of the opinion, I'm of the opinion that different signatures for different accounts, but that's just my own thoughts. I'm of that opinion that different signatures for different accounts, but you must remember everything. But I think it's easy when you know what you want to write. You just tweak it a little, because so I'll tell you again. Maybe it's how I think. I remember growing up, and I always saw my dad's signature. In fact, I can write my father's signature because I saw it 1,000 times. And childhood curiosity, right? So we take it, we trace it. My first signature, my younger brother's first signature was a mimic of our father's signature. I can, as I am, I can still do it. It was a mimic of our father's signature. And then I think I've changed my signature 2 or 3 times. Well, it was then that I didn't have accounts that I needed to sign. So I could just change it. And then I think the first bank account I have, the current signature will not work. Because I used one old signature, I'm very sure. But I can still sign it because now me write down. And what I usually do is when I want to come up with a new signature, again, I'm just talking signatures, but we're going to talk passwords now, is I write it 1,000 times. So I sit down with myself and I go, I need a new signature. Okay, so what do you want to do? I want to write a name. Either one of my names or my initials. Because the signature is not just a random text, right? There's something you're trying to pen down. So, is it my name? Is it my initials? What do I want to write down? So I go, okay, maybe I want to write my name. So I write out the name first. So how do we make this a signature? Then I begin. That's how I form my own signatures. So if you see the current signature I use, is actually a name. An initial and then the name. The one I used before was my name, and I have plenty O's, like first child. When you have plenty names, so I took all those O's and I just